Do us all a favor and go see a fucking therapist so the rest of us can spend less money on it.
Bro, why the fuck is rent so high? Like, rent is hella high for no reason.
Why is rent so expensive?
I help you get on your feet. I don't want you to lose what you got. I will help you, but you can't stay with me. I refuse. I don't care.
$1,900 an hour just ain't enough when you got to make 3 times the rent just to move in and then pay the rent. $1,900. That's crazy.
The math ain't math in here. How are we supposed to get an apartment, right? How are we supposed to survive? The fuck?
$300. How? I have to move again. I just moved here last September and it's going up $300. That's my car payment. How?
Rent is due, and suddenly it looks like your bank account went on a diet. Tell me I'm not the only one wondering how this became normal. Check this out.
Hey, this is just your friendly fucking reminder that not liking drama and not liking the consequences of your pathetic and childlike actions are not the same thing. Two totally different things. So do us all a favor and go see a fucking therapist so the rest of us can spend less money on it.
So something happened recently that I'm really proud of. So it was time to renew our lease, and the property management company sends us the lease renewal. So the landlord in the property management company was trying to raise our rent by about $120 more a month. So that was about a 7.28% increase. And I was like, I'm not really feeling this. So I did some research. I emailed them back. I was like, hey, so property tax for this property has actually gone down and the value of this property has gone down. Also, people are not moving to Virginia like they used to. So how about we do a 3% increase instead? That way you don't have this property sitting on the market empty. So yeah, they agreed to it. So 3% increase this year, which ended up being like $40, and 3% increase next year.
Bro, why the fuck is rent so high? Like, rent is hella high for no reason. Like, bro, you paying $2,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment, bro? That you still got to pay Wi-Fi, water, gas, and all that other shit. Like, what's going on, bro? Like, I'd rather just stay with my peoples. You feel me? I'd rather just stay with four of them because rent is too high for me. You know what I'm saying? There's no way an apartment should cost more than a house. I be going on apartments.com and Zillow and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I just be looking like, okay, like this a nice little 3-bedroom house, 2.5 bathroom for about 17. You know what I'm saying? 1,700. But then you go look at some apartments. Motherfucking apartment, 1 bedroom, 2,000. Studio. Nigga, your bed is your kitchen, nigga. That's too much, bro. And everybody be wanting to buy these expensive ass shit. It's not me. I'm just gonna stay with phone until I get till shit go down. You know what I'm saying? Shit, might as well do something. I don't fucking know. You got a roommate with other people. I don't mind that. You know what I'm saying? But rent is too fucking high. They need to bring that shit down.
I don't know if it's just Houston or the United States as a whole, but my rent been increasing every single month. Literally. So I go down to the leasing office and I'm like, what's up? Why my rent keep increasing? Like, what's up? She talking about some, your water bill went up to $52. How my water bill just go up to $52 and we just hit a whole fucking hurricane? That damn hurricane was all the water that I motherfucking needed to last the rest of the fucking year. That don't make sense to me. I don't.
Why is rent so expensive? I remember like 9 years ago, we lived in like a 2-bedroom apartment for $500 or $550 a month. And now a 2-bedroom apartment would cost you way over $1,000. A 3-bedroom over $2,000. And not even that nice of an apartment. And it's like they say you got to make 2 times the rent to even be able to get the place. A lot of people don't make that. I know that a lot of people are having to have roommates or live with family just to survive. How can that even be legal? It's crazy, man. Just let people be able to live. People got children.
Hey y'all, do y'all think rent gonna ever go down? Raise your hand. I'm not gonna raise my hand. You know why? Because it's not going down. Rent is not going down. Once it went up, it gonna stay up. Mortgage and rent, it done went up and it's not coming back down. Them people done got the taste of that money. And it's not coming down. Anything it gonna goes up higher. If you paying $2,500 a month for rent, $2,000 a month for rent, you gonna be paying that for years to come because it's not coming down. All that $600, $700 a month gone. It's gone. It done passed. That's not happening no more. Rent's not coming. Your mortgage not coming down. I don't care if the economy go down. The rent's still gonna be high. Now, I made a statement one day about my son when my son graduated from college, and once he go to college, he always got a home to come to. But when he graduate college and get him a job, he on his own. Can't come back here. And I said that and I say it again. But I'm gonna say this right here. If my son run into a bind where he need my help, I'm gonna help him. But I'm not gonna invite him back to my house. Cause if I invite him and say, you come stay with me, son. And then my other son gonna wanna come stay with me. And then my daughter gonna wanna come stay with me. I'm gonna have a house full of folks living like a Mexican. I'm not gonna live like that. I can't live like that. And I'm not gonna live like that. I help you get on your feet. I don't want you to lose what you got. I will help you, but you can't stay with me. I refuse. I don't care. You can comment. You can come in on my comment saying that y'all want to live with your parents the rest of your life. That's your business. That's your prerogative. Hey, it is what it is. Some folks can't afford to pay rent. I work 2 jobs before I live with my parents. I did it before, and I do it again. That's why you gotta get out and vote. Go vote. Y'all like my content sharing that follow.
And so y'all know it ain't sitting right with me, working for 15, 16, 17, 18, or even $19 an hour. I just can't work for $19 an hour. That's crazy. So you meant to tell me for a 2-bedroom, I gotta pay 17 to 1900. I gotta make 3 times the rent, but y'all accept me to work for $19 an hour? $19 times 40 hours, what that is, like $700 and some change? Rent still 1900. So that mean to tell me if I get 700 some change twice, rent still 1900. So what about my car note? That's like $500 to $700. What about the light bill? That's like $100 to $200. What about your haircut? And God forbid if you got fucking kids, what about their haircuts and their hairdos? What about the cable bill? What you gonna watch? $19 an hour just ain't enough when you gotta make 3 times the rent just to move in and then pay the rent. $1,900. That's crazy.
I paid $2,000 for my one-bedroom apartment in California, and let me tell you, it wasn't always this easy. Before I started going for higher paying jobs, I used to get paid $20 the hour, guys. And honestly, I think that's like the average. Everybody's getting paid $20 an hour around here. And honestly, I'm not sure how people are surviving on that pay. Because I believe $20 an hour gives you about what, 2,400 a month. And after taxes, what's that like 2,000? Something like that, huh? No, but the crazy part is that when you want to rent an apartment, like they ask you for 2 times the rent. If the apartment is 2,000, 2,000 times 2, 4,000. You need to be making that much money to be able to rent an apartment. Like the math ain't math in here. How are we supposed to get an apartment, right? How are we supposed to survive? The fuck? Obviously, the answer is making more money. And how do you make more money? One of the options is working harder, like I did. For example, I was working my job 9 to 5, and then I would do Amazon Flex on weekends. But honestly, that was exhausting. That caused me a burnout, so I don't recommend that. That's just for emergency. If you can, go back to school, guys. Go back to school. Get that degree. Get that degree.
My friend's sister received an email from her apartment complex. The email was stated that it was an important update. She was assuming that it was something about the trash or something like that. She said, but she almost didn't open the email. When she opened it, it said that her rent is about to increase in the next billing cycle. She didn't understand because her lease wasn't up until the next 6 months. So she didn't know how the rent was going to increase in the next 30 days. She said she didn't think that that was right. So she immediately went down to the office. When she got there was already a lot of people sitting there waiting to talk to the office manager about their rent. She said when it became her time to talk to the office manager told her that it was an increase within the whole apartment complex and it does start next month, not during your next lease. She said, I don't think that this is right.
I just got an email for a lease renewal, and my lease ends in September, and they gave me the options for another 12-month lease. And I looked at how much my rent was going up. $300. $300. How? I have to move again. I just moved here last September, and it's going up $300. That's my car payment. How? I can't even buy a house right now. Jeez.
The cost of living is fucking insane. I'm not saying anything you guys already don't know, but true story, fun fact. I just moved out of my apartment, right? It was getting too fucking expensive to afford. Honestly, just because you can afford it, but then you're forcing yourself to live check to check doesn't make any sense, right? So my apartment was going for $2,100. And then once you add on the technology fee, the pet fee, water, gas, all that shit, right? 2,600. Yes, 2,600 a month. That's what I was paying for that luxury ass apartment once you put everything together. So I moved back home with my parents. I'm like, you know what? I'm closer to Baltimore now. I can relax for a second. I'm closer to my friends and I can save money and buy a fucking house. But here's the kicker. I just checked my old apartment complex. They had listed my apartment for damn near $2,700. That's base rent. Not even adding on the parking fee, the pet fee, all that shit I just told you. So you're looking at $3,000 for where the fuck I just lived. Crazy.
I need someone to make this make sense. One of the requirements that I have for tenants is they have to make 2.5 times the rent. And a lot of people said that's too much. For that, they'll just buy a house. But explain it to me. So if the standard's supposed to be lower, let's say it's 2 times the rent, that means half of your income is going to rent. And I don't think that's a good move financially for anybody, for half of your income to be going to rent. So let me know in the comments, what should the income requirement be?
These landlords have lost their everlasting mind. We have been living in this house for 2 years since relocating from South Florida. Faithful with our rent, paying on time. I don't ask for any maintenance because my husband was a maintenance supervisor and he's an HVAC technician. I'm hooked up. We get the renewal, and with all their bogus fees and all, they want to charge us $3,000. Mind you, just a few months prior, 4 houses down, the same house. It's twin. They rented it for under $1,900. Under $1,900. It was like $1,890. Well, I answered back and I told them that I could not afford that there was no way that I was going to be able to do that. They countered and said, well, what if we kept the rent the same? I countered back and said, how about you give me the same rent that you did with the other house, 4 houses down at like $1,890? Like, come on now. They had the nerve to answer back and say, we can lower it $50 with still having all of those inflated bogus fees tacked on. I'm still losing here. It is what it is. You know what? When one door closes, another one opens. And I know that my family and I, we are in God's hands and that He will provide us a house that we can afford so that we're not drowning and a slave to just paying the house. God has everything in His hands. And these prices are dropping. And for the ones that are Delulu, I pray that you wake up and smell the coffee and start being real and stop being greedy.
Hey, y'all. You know this guy? Well, he knows the rent is too damn high, and you're probably juggling 2 jobs and your family. So it's hard to keep up with what's true, right? Well, this is Jack, and good old buddy Jack is running for governor of New Jersey. See, I had the time to watch the debate, and it's clear He also thinks you're dumb. You're not. You're brilliant and just tired of all the BS. See, he attacked the bill that finally moves us towards meeting our affordable housing needs. But he's doing it by selling fear to white suburbia, the wealthy, and rural areas of Jersey. But here's the truth. While he screams mandated construction, false, the law doesn't force towns to build a single unit. Like zip, zero, nada. It says you have to zone so housing is possible. And towns don't have to even spend their own money if they don't want to. There's other ways. Towns can phase growth, rehab those empty buildings we keep walking past, and strip malls. And there's a cap of 1,000 units max. So there's no takeover, just fairness. But Jack loves vibes and not facts. But he's screaming, they're going to pave over open space. We are the Garden State. Why would we buy that? Rural and environmentally sensitive land count as zero in the calculations. So growth is actually directed to where there's roads, sewers, and transit already. Like, that's called planning. And there's this warehouse talk. He's waving around impact fees like charging your local warehouse is going to save your town, while staying quiet about the giant tax breaks we hand these luxury developers who are building rentals nobody can afford. That's where the real money is leaking out of our communities. And let's name the dog whistle. Jack is banking on your anti-blackness, racism, and class disdain to keep who you assume are black, brown, and working class folks that are faceless out of your town. When in actuality, you're slamming the door on your kid's teacher, the pastor down the street, your grandparents, and the recent college grad that's trying to stand on their home. People you want in your community, regardless of the color of their skin or how much money they have in their bank account. So for me, this election, I'm voting because the rent is too damn high. And also because I'll be damned if somebody treats me like Boo Boo the Fool. Truth of the matter is, housing is not something that drains our community. It enhances our community. And it's a human right.
People aren't asking for mansions. They're asking for a place to live without sacrificing everything else. Make sure you hit the subscribe, like, share, and to comment on the videos. Let me know how rent has been affecting you in your life. And let's keep the conversation going. Happy every day. I know fit overthink, oh. Me, I know like stress. Steady on my speed, oh. I'm no checking my